Good morning, students. In my last class, I discussed various steps in location selection, means what steps an industrialist should have to adopt for identifying a good or an ideal location for his plant. Today, I will discuss another topic of plant location, that is various location models. What we will discuss in this topic? In this topic, we will discuss various mathematical models that are available for identifying a good or an ideal location for the plant. No doubt, an industrialist is able to identify a good location by considering various factors. But sometimes he may not able to identify an exact industrial site for his plant because sometimes he having number of alternate locations and he may not able to identify the differences among various locations because all locations having similar characteristics, all locations having all characteristics and all factors which is important for the plant. So he may not able to identify a good location for the plant. He having number of locations and among that he have to choose one. So at that situation, what the industrialist will do, the industrialist can able to identify a good location for his plant by doing certain calculation, by adopting certain mathematical formula. He can able to identify a good location for his plant. So for that reason, he has to adopt certain location models. So these locational models, he can able to identify a good location for his plant. So these are the various locational models which helps an industrialist for identifying a good or an ideal location for his plant. So what are the models? There are four models of location selection. First one is the factor rating method or factor rating models, point rating method or point rating models, break-even analysis model, qualitative factor analysis model. So if an industrialist adopts one method out of these four, he can able to identify a good location for his plant. So let me discuss all the models of plant location in detail. So first we will discuss the factor rating method. If an industrialist adopts this method for identifying a good or ideal location for his plant, what he will do, first he has to identify different factors which is important to them. For some industry, certain factor is important and these factors may not important to another industry. Take an example of textile industry. So for textile industry, suitability of climate is an important factor because the textile industry require high humid climate. So for them, suitability of climate is very important. But for some other industries, suitability of climate is not an important factor. Take an example of plant which produces the industrial goods. For them, suitability of climate is not important factor. For them, maybe availability of raw material, availability of power, availability of labor, or safety measures factor is important to them. And take another example of agro-based industry. The plant which produces agricultural goods, for them soil fertility factor is very important, but for the plant who produces the industrial goods, for them soil fertility is not important at all. So if the industrialist adopt this method for identifying a good location, first he has to identify various factors which is important to them. After identifying various factors, he has to rate that factors. And generally he uses 1 to 5 rating scale for rating that factors. And he has to rate or he has to provide maximum rating to a particular factor which is more important to them, and he assigns lower rating point to a particular factor which is less important to them. Means the factor which is more important to them or more important to the industrialist or more important to the plant, generally he assigns 5 rating point, and the factor which is less important to the industry, generally the industrialist rate that factor at point 1. After assigning various rating to particular factor, next the industrialist should have to identify various alternate locations which is available to them. After identifying various locations, again he has to rate various locations. He has to rate various locations according to the availability of various factors. Means after identifying various locations, he has to assign a rating point to every factor on a particular location as per their availability. Generally, he adopts 1 to 10 rating scale for rating a particular locational factor. Generally, he assigns a highest rating point to a particular factor in a location if that factor is easily available in that location. And if a factor is not easily available in a particular location, generally the industrialist rate that factor in a particular location with minimum point. And after that, after providing a rating to every location, the industrialist has to find out the product of different rating. Means he has to find out the product of factor rating and locational rating. So for that reason, he has to multiply various factor rating with locational rating. After getting the product of different rating at different locations, he has to compute the sum of each location, and after that he can able to identify the suitable after that he can able to identify the proper industrial site for his plant. Means the location which having highest score, he should select that one for installing his plant. So from this example you can able to get clear idea about factor rating method. So, for identifying a good location, generally the industrialists first adopt various factors. The factors may be tax advantages, suitability of labor skill, proximity to customer means nearer to customer, proximity to suppliers means nearer to suppliers, adequacy of water, receptivity means acceptance of community, quality of educational system, access to rail and air transportation, suitability of climate, availability of power. Generally, these factors are important to a particular industrialist, and he take these factors for calculating or for identifying a good location. After identifying these factors, he has to rate these factors. Um, he has to rate these factors, or he has to provide a rating to that factors. Generally, the industrialist uses 1 to 5 rating scale. Here, the industrialists provide maximum rating to a particular factor, that is receptivity of community. Means for a particular industry, acceptance of community is very important. If the community people doesn't accept a plant, then the plant cannot be installed at that place. So acceptance of community factor is very important to a particular farm. So that industrialist rates that factor with highest point, that is zero point 0.5, and he assigns maximum point to a particular factor, that is receptivity of community. And for them, adequacy of water is not important at all. So for that reason, he assigns minimum point, that is rating 1 point to the factor, that is adequacy of water. So after providing or after rating each factor, then the industrialists identify various alternate locations which is available to them. That is location A and location B. He is in a confusion which location is suitable for him. Either location A or location B. He has to identify, or he has to choose one location for installing his plant. After identifying various locations, he has to rate them again. So he may use the rating scale from 1 to 10 for rating a particular locational factor. So take the example of first factor, that is tax advantages. So tax advantages the industrialists get maximum tax advantages in location A as compared to location B. So he rate tax advantages factor in location A at 8.8 and location B at zero point 0.6, and he provides maximum rating point to a factor, that is access to rail and air transportation, that is 0.10 at location A. Means in location A, the air and transportation facility is available, but the quality of educational system is not available in location A. So he rates that factor at zero point 0.1. After providing various rating, means the rating must be as per the availability of factor in a particular location. After providing or after rating each location, the industrialist has to identify column, they calculate the product of different rating. How they calculate the product of different rating? By multiplying the factor rating with locational rating, he can able to calculate, he can able to find the product of different rating of location A and location B. So take the example of location A. Location A, he can able to identify the product rating of tax advantages by multiplying the factor rating, that is 4, with by multiplying the locational rating at A, that is 8. So 8 into 4 is 32. After that, he multiply, for getting the product rating of location B, he multiply the factor rating 4 with the locational B rating, that is 6. 6 into 4 equal to 24. So likewise, he calculate the total factor ratings. See, he calculate the total factor rating. He calculate the locational factor rating. After that, he multiply the factor rating with locational rating. He can able to identify. He can able to calculate different product rating of location A, of location B. So after calculating various product rating of different location, he has to compute the sum of location A, the sum of location B. So the sum of location A, he calculated that 149, and the sum of location B is 144. Means the total score of location A 149 and the total score of location B is 144. There is no much differences between location A, location B. So he is not able to identify a good location for the industry for installing the plant, whether he choose location A, whether he choose location B for installing the plant. But after adopting this method, he can able to identify which location is suitable for him. So in location A get 149 score and location B get 144 score. So generally the industrialist has to adopt a particular location which having highest score. Generally the industrialist should have to adopt a particular location which having highest score. Here the location A having highest score, so the industrialist able to get a conclusion that he has to identify the location A for installing his plant. So this is all about factor rating method. Next I will discuss point rating method. If an industrialist adopt point rating method for identifying a good location for his plant, then first he has to identify various factors which is important for them. After identifying various factors which is important to them, or again all factors are not equally important to them. After that, they have to assign various maximum points to different factors according to the importance, according to the requirement, according to the importance of the factor. They have to assign maximum point to particular factors. Generally, they assign maximum point to a factor which is much important to them, and they assign lower point to a factor which is not important to them. After providing maximum point, or after assigning various points to a particular factor, then the industrialist has to identify various alternate location which is available to them. After that, he has to assign the locational factors. They has to assign a point to a locational factors out of maximum points. After assigning various points to a particular locational factors, the industrialist has to calculate the sum of total locational factors and locational point and the sum of other locational points. And after that, he can able to identify which location is suitable for him. Means the location which having highest point is generally superior than other locations. With this example, you can get a clear idea about point rating method. If the industrialist adopt point rating method for identifying a good location, first he has to identify different factors which is important to them, like future availability of fuel, transportation flexibility and growth, adequacy of water supply, labor availability, pollution regulation, site topography, living condition. First he has to identify different factors. After that, he identifies which factor is important to him. All factors are not equal important to an industrialist. So first he has to identify which factor is important to him. After that, he provides maximum point to a factor which is important to him. So future availability of fuel is very important to the plant. So the industrialist assign 300 that is maximum point to future availability of fuel, and the industrialist consider that pollution regulation is not important at all. So he assigns the lowest point that is 30 points to pollution regulation factor. After that, he identifies different alternate location which is available to him. That is location A and location B. He may be in a confusion which location is suitable for him, whether he choose location A for installing the plant or whether he choose location B for installing the plant. So after identifying various alternate location which is available to them, again he assigned various points to a particular locational factor in a particular location out of maximum points. Means in location A, the future availability of fuel is not more as compared to location B. So location A, he assigns point 200 out of 300, and look to location B, he assigns 250 point out of 300 points. And accordingly, as per the availability of factor in a particular location, he has to assign various points out of maximum points. After that, the industrialist has to calculate the sum of various locations. The sum of various locations means sum of location A, sum of location B's point. And at last, he got that location A having 830 point and location B having 875 point. So he conclude that location B having highest point as compared to location A, and location B is superior as compared to location A. So he may get a conclusion that he has to identify or he has to select the location B for installing his plant. This is all about point rating method or point rating model. Next, I will discuss another methods or another models for identifying a good location, that is break-even analysis method. If an industrialist is unable to identify a good location by using point rating or factor rating, then the industrialist uses break-even analysis method for identifying a good location. Generally, this method adopt or consider revenue and cost for identifying a good location. So, if this method adopted by the industrialist for identifying a good location, he must have to consider various revenues and cost. If the revenues per unit is the revenues per unit uh, per unit irrespective all location is same, then the industrialist should have to eliminate the revenue for identification of a location. He has to consider only the cost aspect for identification of a location. Means the industrialist can able to identify a good location by considering the total fixed cost, by considering the variable cost into account. They can able to identify a good location. With the example, you can get clear idea about break-even analysis method. So in this example, it is mentioned that a industrialist having three locations, that is location A, location B, and location C, and the selling price per unit is is rupees 100. Means the revenue in each location is rupees 100. Revenue in each location is rupees 100 per unit, and the expected volume means the quantity produced is 2000 units per year. And other informations are also available, that is location A having fixed cost 25,000 and location A having variable cost rupees 50 per unit, location B having fixed cost 50,000 and location B having variable cost, that is 25 rupees per unit, location C having fixed cost 80,000 per year and location C having variable cost rupees 15 per unit. And generally we find that the selling price means the revenue is same irrespective of all location. Here the industrialist should have to consider the cost aspect, that is fixed cost and variable cost, for identifying a good location. So the industrialist can able to identify a good location by calculating total cost of different location. Total cost can be calculated by by applying a formula that is fixed cost plus variable cost into quantity produced. And the industrialist, with the help of this formula, we can able to identify the total cost of each location. So the total cost of each location, total cost of location A equal to fixed cost 25,000 plus 50 rupees into quantity produced equal to 2,000. So the total cost at location A equal to 1,25,000. Similarly, he calculates the total cost at different location. Total cost at location B equal to 1 lakh. Total cost at location C equal to 1,10,000. So he may get a conclusion that generally the location which having less cost means in a location where the industrial is able to produce the goods at less cost, he has to choose that location, and he can able to find out a location which a location where the goods can be produced at less cost. Means here the location B is suitable for the industry, suitable for the plant for installing, because location B having less cost as compared to other location. This is all about break-even analysis method. Next, I will discuss another locational model, that is qualitative factor analysis method. If the industrialist is unable to identify by considering economic criteria, then he is to adopt another method, another model for selecting a location, that is qualitative factor analysis method. In qualitative factor analysis method, what the industrialist will do, first the industrialist identify relevant factor. After that, he assigns a particular weightage to the factors out of one. Means he has to assign highest weight to a particular factor which is more important to them, and the weight must be within one, and the weight must be from one, and the total the sum of weight equal to one. After that, he has to identify various alternate locations which is available to him, that is location A, location B, location C, and location D. After that, he has to provide different score out of 100 to different location as per the availability of the factors in that particular location. After providing various scores to a particular location, he has to multiply the locational scores with the assigned weightage. So take this example. Here the assigned weight to production cost equal to 0.35, and the score at location A equal to 50. So the product cost at location A equal to 50 into 0.35, that is 17.5, and again the production cost score at location B equal to 40, and the assigned weight is 0.35. So total score at location B equal to 0.35 into 40, that is 14. So as per the requirement, or as per the score assigned to a particular location, he has to multiply that score with the assigned weightage. After that, he has to calculate the total sum of location total. After that, he has to identify the sum of total weightage of different locations, and he can able to identify, or he can able to get a conclusion which location is suitable for him. After identifying the total weightage of different locations, the highest weightage should be selected by the industrialist for installing his plant. So in this example, the location C having highest score, that is 66.5 total score. So the industrialist get a conclusion that he has to identify, or he has to select the location C for installing his plant. This is all about the qualitative factor analysis method, and this is all about various locational models that are available for industrialists to identify a good location for his plant. Next, I will discuss another topic of another topic of production management, that is plant relocation. Here, relocation means what? Re means again. Relocation is an action of moving from one place to another place. So before relocation, there is a word that is plant. So plant relocation, we can say that changing of plant's location from one place to another place. So we can say that plant relocation means a change in physical location of a business. So if industrialist change its location from or change its industrial location from one place to another place due to various reasons. The reason may be high rising cost at current facility. Means in current facility or current location, farm is unable to produce the goods at less cost. Unnecessary costs are incurred. So for that reason, the industrialist want to relocate his plant. Next, to get better tax advantages, means the industrialist found that at a particular place various tax benefits are available. Means if he install their plant at another place, he may get able to get maximum tax advantages, maximum tax subsidy. So he makes various decisions related to shifting their plant from one location to another location. And for another reason, that it changes in its target market. Means presently, the farm focuses on a particular market. So, particular market, the plant should be nearer to the market. And now the plant want to change its target market. Plant want to, or the industry want to focus on a but on another market. So, for that reason, the industrialists want to shift their market, shift their plant to a particular area that is nearer to the target market. So plant relocation means what? Plant relocation, we can say that it is a movement of business or movement of an industry from one region or one place to another place. So it is due to various reasons. Next, I will discuss various reasons for plant relocation. So what is the reason behind relocating a plant? So first, to acquire more room. If the present location doesn't have enough space for growth, enough space for expand, then the industrialist think for relocating their plant to a particular area where they get or where he get enough space for expand, enough space for growth. Next, to lower the operating cost. To lower the operating cost. In a particular location, if the farm unable to produce the goods at less cost, means in a particular area or a particular location, farm unnecessarily rising farm spaces unnecessarily rising high cost, then the industrialists think for relocating their plant. The industrialists want to shift their plant to a particular area or particular place where they can able to produce the goods at less cost and where they can able to minimize their operating cost. Next, to modernize equipment facility. If the industrialist want to modernize its equipment because he found that the equipments are traditional and he will not capable to produce the qualitative goods by using this equipment, so he want to modernize the equipment and he identifies that if he modernize the equipment and that facility and that plant plant having no space for installing this modern equipment, then the industrialist think for relocating their plant to a particular area, means shifting their plant to a particular area where he may able to get enough space to move closer to a target segment of their market. Always industrialists want to install their plant to a particular area that is nearer to the market. And so if the industrialists want to get more closer to a larger segment of their market, larger part of their market, so that they can able to send their goods at less cost, and they can able to minimize their transportation cost. So if the industrialists want to get more closer to the large segment of the market, then also the industrialists shift their plant from one location to another location to consolidate into fewer facility. Hence, to strengthen some facility, or industrialists want to change their location from one place to another place. To be closer to certain supplier or natural resources. If the industrialist want to get more closer with the supplier with the natural resources, means if the industrialist want to install their plant at a particular area where he can able to get the raw material easily, where the suppliers are available, so that he can able to get raw material on a continuous manner. So for that area or to that area, the industrialists want to shift their plant to access a better or larger labor pool. If the plant is unable to procure the labor, is unable to get sufficient labor, if they import the labor from outside, generally it increases the labor cost, and if if labor cost increases, automatically farms production cost increases. So for that reason, or to avoid these things, the industrialists want to install their plant, want to change their plant to a particular area where low labor charges is available, where sufficient labor is available. Next, to eliminate specific labor related situation, to avoid strike, to avoid lock of to avoid strike, to avoid lock off in a particular area, the industrialists want to shift their plant from one area to another area. To be closer to complementary industries, if a industry if an industry is located in a particular area where various competing industries are available, and the industrialists want to shift the lo- industrialists want to shift the plant to a particular area where complementary industries, then at that situation relocation happen. Means if the industrialists want to change the location of their plant to a particular area where complementary industries are available, at that situation he makes various decisions related to relocating his plant. Last, to improve the quality of life. Simply, if the industrialists want to improve the quality of life of his employees, then he make various decisions related to relocating his plant. Means in a particular area, if the employees are not able to get various benefits, means if a particular industry is located in a remote area, the employees of an organization are not able to get basic facilities. So, for improving their quality of life, industrialists want to relocate their plant in a particular area where various facilities are available. So, these are the various reasons for plant relocations. And this is all about our today's class.